Hello there, and welcome to my channel. My name is Rosie, and I am so excited to be starting a very brand new video series here on my YouTube page. Now, before I get started, I just want to light a candle. These are my favorite candles, and I got some new ones today for the fall. Eee! Oh my gosh, I'm gonna light it real quick. Okay, do you like my new cozy vibes? Got a little furniture, found a nice wicker set on Facebook Marketplace. And so I'm a little cozier this time instead of sitting on my son's chair like I've been doing. It was not comfortable. It kept me awake though, because I do film at night. Because if you have a child that is loud and curious about everything you are doing, you just have to wait till they're asleep. There's just like no way around it. Okay, let's get into it. I'm honestly really nervous to start this series because I really want to do it justice. I started researching a very basic question, I thought, after watching part of, couldn't quite watch the whole thing, the new Bo Burnham Netflix special Inside. And it led me down the biggest, most interesting, and frustrating rabbit hole I really think I've ever been down. Which is really saying something because I am a researcher by my nature, and I've always kind of been that way, and I'm always going down all these deep, wild rabbit holes, and this one had the depth of the rabbit hole just was beyond my comprehension.
Goodbye, Dinah. Goodbye.
What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to do a little commentary on the song in Bo Burnham's Inside Special titled White Woman's Instagram. I need a drink. So to start off, I would highly recommend pausing this video right now and taking a few minutes to watch the clip of White Woman's Instagram if you haven't already seen it. If I can link it up here, I will. So I'll wait. Yeah, gosh, I have so much phlegm in my throat, I can't. I'm gonna keep croaking.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I have a cough drop in my mouth because the phlegm is a problem. And it always happens on filming night. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so let's start by discussing the tone of the song, the subject matter, from like an observational perspective, and then we can jump in a little more deeper. I do want to say, again, that this is not about white women, but I'm going to touch on women as a whole and how women-led career paths are handled in media. So while the song is titled White Women's Instagram, and I know that there are more white women running Instagram accounts, there's still many BIPOC women-led IG accounts that have the same aesthetic, same feel. In fact, I think in most cases, those accounts are the trend-setting accounts, and it's generally white women that are capitalizing more off those trends. But that's a video for another time. I also want to just say that this is not in defense of myself as a creator in the IG space and a white woman. Okay, that's not best. Let's talk about the opening lines of the song for just a second.
An open window, a novel, a couple holding hands, an avocado.
An open window, a novel, a couple holding hands, an avocado. So this is obviously a hilarious song. Like, I'm not going to deny the fact that Bo Burnham is funny and he's smart and he nails it. Like, it's hilarious. It is like he nailed it for sure. And you know, the main commentary that I've noticed on this song so far is that he makes up for it at the end of the song when it kind of like zooms out, and he talks about how the creator in real life has a lot of stuff going on. So like everyone's like, no, he's not making fun, like he gets it. I'm like, I don't see that as an actual accurate representation of what it is to run an IG account. Let's pause a minute on Instagram and let's take a moment to think about filmmaking, photography, and advertising. What are the main similarities between the Instagram accounts and these other careers? Well, let's see. They all take technical skill, creativity, and a lot of hard work for starters. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's a pretty basic like things you need to do any of those careers. They also involve following trends within society, knowing the most current tech. They also often involve working with big companies, producing sample work to prove your talent and skill. They also involve working all hours into the night to make a deadline. They involve creativity to find originality in the ways they're showcasing the work they're doing, to make sure they're still captivating the audience, to make sure they're selling the product that they're hired to sell. And it's especially hard right now with a society that is so jaded and bored. So with creatives in that type of environment, you have to continually be doing the next original thing or the next better thing or being the best at it. Like, there's just so much out there that you have to do something to catch the eye of anyone at this point, and especially to hold attention. I think holding someone's attention is like the hardest thing to do right now. I mean, if you look at the analytics on most like videos like this, most people drop off after a minute and 40 seconds. Roughly. I mean, you know, they're and a lot of people do come back. You know, I realize with these longer form videos, you often don't have time to sit down and do it. Like when you go to the movie theater, you're like carving out a whole event for it, you know, and you're not, YouTube's more like, oh, when I have time. So, you know, I get it. People watch it in chunks, whatever, but it's just, you know, it's really difficult to keep up in the society we're in right now. We've looked at the similarities. Now, what are the key differences? Like, what is the main difference between filmmaking, photography, advertising versus an Instagram account? I feel like the only difference I'm seeing is that women dominate the Instagram space where men dominate those other spaces. I think that's it. The amount of men I see on Instagram producing even half good content is so small in comparison to women and other genders. Obviously, there are some, and obviously, there's still skill there. I also want to be clear that, like, I'm not leaving out trans women, non-binary, trans men, like they are working really hard in this space as well, and traditionally they kind of get lumped in with women in this discussion. So watching this song is really interesting because like the dude nails it in a lot of ways. The aesthetic, the props, the lighting. It's also interesting to watch the rest of the special. I didn't finish it, but what I could handle. Because Bo, he seems to use a lot of the techniques that creators on Instagram use for lighting and sounds and effects when you don't have like a crew or like you're doing everything yourself, like I am right now. Like there's one song where he uses his like phone flashlight to do lighting effect, and that's, you know, it's very much like budget Instagram kind of stuff, or like working with what you have, which is just so quintessential for Instagram creators. I honestly believe that Instagram creators are some of the hardest workers out there right now. There are literally no days off if you want to succeed. There are no private moments anymore. Your vacation, not a vacation, it's a job. It's a content spot. Your meal for dinner, not nourishment. It's a tutorial for your favorite recipe. And the amount of things you have to learn constantly just to be relevant and keep up with the trends is enormous and exhausting.
Latte foam art, tiny pumpkins.
Do you even know how hard it is to learn latte foam art? I noticed you didn't attempt it, Bo. No? Just wanted to sing about it? Didn't try it yourself? I bet he did. I bet he did. I tried for a whole year to make latte foam art, and I got one heart after a year, and an accidental dragon that was like amazing. I was trying to make a heart though, so I have to mark that I took my medication, or it's gonna like beep at me really loudly in a second. Disabled life. Instagram creators are constantly learning new skills and trends to stay relevant, to make money. Okay, so let's dive in a little more into the filmmaking and professional photography space. When you're on a professional photo shoot, you have a team of people. You like, okay, let's say a photographer is shooting an ad for Starbucks, and they would like to make some latte foam art. So you're gonna have the person that knows how to make the foam art there. They're gonna do that. They're gonna get it ready. You're gonna have like some creative people and some prop people bringing in sets, and as the photographer, you're going to be kind of doing stuff and directing people. You're gonna have people doing your lighting, setting up your backdrop. All that stuff is done with a team when it's in these professional settings for these big campaigns and brands. And if they're shooting another person, not something like a Starbucks ad where it's just food or, an item. If there's a model there, there's a makeup team, there's a oh my god, wardrobe. There's a wardrobe team. They're all working together. And even more so in filmmaking, I think we all know that filmmaking takes hundreds of people from start to finish. This is so crucial in advertising, in photography, in filmmaking, because it's efficient. So with Instagram creation, like especially when you're in the beginning and you're not making lots of money yet and you're still proving yourself, like yes, bigger accounts, they have staff, they have help, but it took a long time to get there in most cases. And so for those of us that aren't there yet, we're doing everything. We're doing the lighting, we're doing the camera, we're doing the editing afterwards, we're doing the props. It's just interesting because of how much they get paid versus an Instagram creator doing all the jobs themselves. Some creators are lucky to have like a romantic partner or a friend that's good at photography or, is interested in getting better, and they help you and you have a symbiotic relationship and you help each other. It's great, but that just doesn't always happen. And the expense of getting started is often what makes it impossible for someone to succeed on Instagram. So when you're an Instagram creator, everything you see is pretty much out of pocket. I really wonder how much Bo spent on just that song, because there were so many props that Bo used that we see on these accounts. A lot of people do seasonal posts on Instagram, and that is, to me, the most expensive of all to keep up with. And they're the most popular ones. People love a seasonal photo shoot, but buying seasonal props every time there's a new holiday or season change is so expensive. Like, these things are so much money. I've never been able to do them because of that. And I just would be curious to see how much Bo spent on that one song. So now I want to address the moment where Bo zooms out and reveals the Instagram creator in real format or full cinematic format, not like the square format of Instagram. And you discover that both her parents have passed and she misses them, and that's supposed to make her a relatable human. Like, to a degree, yes, that's humanizing. It's just really missing the mark. I would love a zoom out to the comment on the fact that every time women dominate a field of work, society picks it apart until it makes it seem like it's not even a real job. Has there ever been a time in history that women were respected as well as the fields they dominate? And I'm not going to answer that question yet. I do have some answers. I'm going to take a long time to answer those questions, so do stay tuned. I do just want to take a minute right now and think about all the fields in our current time that women dominate and how they are treated in society and the media. Let's start with one that has recently been appreciated just a little more. It's not like the situation has changed, even though the appreciation has. Teachers. Okay, historically underpaid, underappreciated, overworked, and told that it's women's work. Unless it's higher education, i.e. a college university professor, because that's where we train men to be providers, and we don't want to mess that up with women teaching, do we? No. Okay, let's look at another profession. Nursing. Underpaid, underappreciated, overworked, historically told that it's women's work unless you are a doctor or you're training to be a doctor, like a man. Yes, I know we have women doctors and male nurses. We're talking about majority, not exceptions. So there's gotta be something women have dominated recently that's respected, right? Okay, flight attendants. Nope. Underpaid, underappreciated, overworked, historically told it's women's work, okay? No. Okay, so how come when a man works as the greeter of the restaurant to seat you and take you to your lovely table for your dinner, it's called maitre d', and when it's a woman, it's a host? What the fuck is that? Is it possibly because the closest role a woman's had for maitre d' would be a woman hosting a dinner party. Is it really that basic misogyny? I want to give these men more credit, but I just like, it's so basic. Come on. Are we really that basic, men? Childcare. No. Underpaid, underappreciated, overworked, historically told it's women's work. Okay. So let's talk now about societal messages that we love to consume. Let's revisit again the tones of the song. Picking apart every single thing that someone uses as a way to make money and provide a life for themselves in a society that doesn't want women to succeed is incredibly discouraging. This is such a brilliant technique to keep women from ever becoming the force of nature we all know women to be. I remember a week after watching the amount of the special I could watch, I saw a bigger account that I follow announce that they would be going on vacation and they were apologizing in advance for their white woman Instagram feed posts that would happen while they were on vacation. They are literally apologizing for doing their damn job now. Have you ever heard Taika Waititi, I hope I pronounced that right, announce, I'm doing this movie, so I apologize in advance that it'll be in theaters and all over TV when I finish it. I'm really sorry. It doesn't make sense. It does make sense if you are trying to make sure a whole group of people doesn't succeed. I think it's fascinating that to me, Beau's entire special is like excerpts of content you might actually see on certain accounts on Instagram. And also that he himself started his whole career on YouTube. And no one's making fun of him. They're all amazed. They think it's brilliant. This is a masterpiece, everyone's saying. Cool. Let's look at female comics for a minute and how people respond to a female comic. There's a big surge of female comedians right now, and I'm loving it. Like, loving it. I honestly never liked stand-up comedy until this surge of women came out, and now I'm like, oh, now it's funny. But let's talk about those annoying comments about female comics. You know the ones. I just don't think women are that funny. Or the even worse, she's actually funny for a woman. Deep breath. Sip of coffee. So Beau is like actually being paid by Netflix to make this special that feels derivative of content creation on Instagram. Cool. After thinking on this for a few days and seeing all the women trying to make fun of themselves in the wake of this special, it really broke my heart. We shouldn't have to make fun of ourselves in ways no man has ever had to do just to stay relevant and get paid, I guess. And I'm not against having a sense of humor about oneself or the things that they do. I think that's totally fine, but I don't think it's appropriate for a white man to be having this conversation. Women work so much harder than men just to get a seat at the table. And then, if we get so lucky to catch a trend and do something about it before a man does and capitalize on it, we will be torn apart. This is crucial in keeping women's wages lower in a way that they can get away with. If society sees Instagram creators as less valuable than advertisers, they're not going to get paid the same as advertisers, even though they are advertisers and they're advertising and working and doing the same jobs as the advertising agency. Think about the salary for the careers I've talked about in this video. Teachers, nursing, childcare, flight attendants, host, all those things get paid garbage. And they're still some of the most hardworking careers you can have in this entire world. Think about this pandemic we've been in and who's had to maintain jobs, who's kept the society together, who have we been talking about tirelessly on social media about how amazing the teachers are and thank you for the nurses and all these things. And yet, why are they not valued in their salary the same way these other jobs are just because they're female dominated? I want to make sure that it's understood that I know there are layers and complexities within this subject as a whole, and that there is gatekeeping within the Instagram space and BIPOC women and white women. I want to know that there are all kinds of layers. There are gender layers here too, beyond male and female. And I did generalize a lot for this video, and I just want you to know that I'm aware and that this was not in any way to exclude, but to simply speak more in a historical way and what the media is presenting to us. Definitely there's more to be said about the dynamics of gender roles, and we will be getting into it. So don't worry, this is just the thesis of the series, okay? We're gonna get into all of the complexities. So I want to know now, what do you think? What other fields that I may not have mentioned that you've noticed are considered women jobs and are therefore not as respected? Do you feel like women have to work harder to get taken seriously as a career-driven person as opposed to a man with the same drive? How do you feel other genders fit into this discussion and how they've been treated historically as well? I really can't wait to get deeper into this, and I want to just keep talking, but I have gone on so long already that I have actually overheated my camera. But this is just such a huge topic. We're going to get into it. I'm going to get into ancient gender roles in society. Just please stay tuned. This is so cool. All the stuff I'm learning and frustrating. Come get frustrated with me. Is that going to be like my branding? Come, have an existential crisis. It'll be a delight. So, thank you for joining me tonight. It's getting late. It's almost 11 p.m. Really appreciate you being here. If you did like this video or learned something, I would love if you gave it a thumbs up, like thingamaroo. And I'd love if you subscribe and share. Share if you feel like anyone would think this is interesting. Really, please. I am literally begging you. Please. Please. Okay. Yeah, please do all those things that help me maybe make money off of this one day. I need a wheelchair. Is that guilting you enough? Am I getting closer? So, thanks for joining me tonight and sending hugs and love to you all. Good night.